fabulous career, from frontline management to working in Parliament, to working on Channel Tunnel, Eurostar, worked on the privatisation of the railways 30 years ago nearly now, rail track, Southwest Trains, First Group, where we had all different types of businesses. Then I left the railway, ran the Civil Aviation Authority for almost 9 years, and then almost 3 years ago came back to the industry as Chief Executive of Network Rail. So really varied, but quite unusual in coming from the sort of background I've got, really. My personal challenge was the fact that I didn't come from a class where people were expected you to be a leader for a start. My parents were very supportive of me as an individual, but nobody from my family had been the chief executive of a tiny company, never mind a very large one. So I had to develop my own sense of confidence and my own sense of capability in that sense. For me, there are 3 reasons why it's critically important. The first and foremost is because, for me, it's about basic human rights. Actually, people have the right to be treated equally. I have quite a strong personal faith, and that that has taught me to treat people as individuals and as equals, and that none of us are born with any any sense of better status ultimately. So that's the first thing for me. It's about a basic fundamental right. The second reason is because I think actually genuine diversity of thought and experience adds to the business. And the third is, I think in the 21st century, if you really want to recruit the very best people, and boy do we need them, then you want people then you want to be accommodating to people, and you want people to be confident that if they come to your business, then they will be treated equally, and that they will have all the opportunities that they need to grow. I think it's a legacy issue that when you're looking for leadership, then you draw in from a pool, and that pool is defined by a number of characteristics. It's defined by the pool of people who want to work for you, and it's defined by the pool of people who have previously been given the opportunities to gain the experience necessary to fulfill senior jobs. And historically, we've not been good enough at either of those 2 things. One of the things I've been sponsoring is a specific program, 2 specific programs, one for women in leadership and another one then for, capability from colleagues in ethnic minorities to give them accelerated leadership. Because unless we create that pool, unless we're an attractive employer to people with those capabilities, then we will not get the rate of progress that we need. There's a huge amount of research that says that many women are less likely to put themselves forward. And one of the things we have to do in that regard is, and we are doing some good work on this, and we've got some good examples of it, is in the way that we write job descriptions and the way that we write adverts for jobs and the way that we connect with people, using language that means that women will seriously consider themselves for those jobs. Women from an ethnic minority background face multiple challenges. They face sometimes challenges from within their own community, who have some views. That clearly doesn't apply to everybody, but I know from my own experience that's been an issue for some. They face all the issues of gender stereotyping, particularly when it comes to STEM, and the railway is still too heavily dominated by people that look like myself. And the other harsh reality is that I still think there is latent racism in society and in our business. We may not like to be honest about that. It isn't necessarily always deliberate or intentional, but there's too much data that says that, particularly if you come from an ethnic minority background, then your chances of succeeding in the business are not as strong as if you were a white man. Now, we've been able to overcome some of those issues with women, but we're not yet at a point where we can say, look, the data's telling us that opportunities are equal for people from a minority ethnic background. And that is that's just fundamentally wrong. So, the fact that people face multiple challenges like that means it's a real burning platform. I would really hope that COVID has demonstrated to all of us that we can work more agilely, and that in doing so, it might be possible for women to think of careers they wouldn't otherwise have thought of, because we don't insist on people traveling everywhere. If we assume that women, either through necessity or through choice, are taking primary childcare responsibility, then COVID will have hopefully given us the chance to demonstrate that we can work in a much more agile fashion. Where we do have a challenge, though, is that there are real financial constraints now. So we're not going to be, as a business, we've grown about 1,000 heads every year for the last 8 or 9 years. That pattern is parked. So we can't rely on just new recruitment fixing our problem around equality and inclusion. As we face more challenging times economically, the need for people with diverse skills is going to be more important, not less. The need for people who can work agilely is going to be more important, not less. The way that we support those people may change, but absolutely, we will need a new generation of people with new technology, new ways of dealing with people. And there are fantastic career opportunities. When you look at what's happening with HS2, but also transparent and route upgrade, the decarbonisation programme over the next 30 years, there are some absolutely stunning ways to be involved in the future of our country, and it would be great to work with you on it.